Hey, welcome back to the channel. Subscribe to the channel, like this video. Go ahead, comment down below. Let me know where y'all from, who you rocking with, who you a fan of. Let's get right into it, man. So Boosie lost the 70K. He ended up doing some type of, allegedly, some type of business deal or something like that, where he ended up losing that 70K. And people were commenting and asking, like, what kind of backstreet person runs off of 70K? Why would you do business with them if they're already shady or if they had some type of history or something like that? But apparently, according to Boosie, he says that he has to reach out to Farrakhan. He had to reach out to all these people, and because apparently some dude is connected to that had the 70K that Boosie thinks is missing now. That's according to Boosie, and so he's mad about it. He was trying to reach out. He went on live. He went and made a few posts talking about it, and so now that it's coming back around, so the lesson from all that is basically y'all got to make sure you read everything, and anything you sign on or any pieces of paper. Like, one thing is that maybe it was like a private thing and that Boosie kind of trusted him and maybe didn't read everything like that. You really never know, right? Because you seen what happened with people that are signing now, like Glorilla. She didn't even read her thing, and neither did Uzi's artist or 21 Savage art. Like, there's a lot of people who they were not reading what they were signing, and so they don't never know where somebody could be able to low-key finesse or some way get a little bit more than you in a certain cut. Like, that's just how sometimes things work out, man. So, but you do have to be 100% super careful, because nowadays everybody's trying to like get up, and there's no more of the PPPs, so everybody's trying to get on the come up, and so a lot of people are trying to get greedy, or they're finessing in some sort of way to get more than the next person. And so those are the type of things y'all got to watch out for, because in these days it's like gas prices are up. They like $8, they back to $8 now, and basically what y'all got to understand is that it's no joke. Like, people out here have to basically watch where they're going, the steps they're taking, because if they're really not looking at what they signing and they end up losing 70K like that, it's crazy, because Boosie already had a bad enough situation with the fact that he had to come up with $1 million in 48 hours, whatever that reason was for, but that came out of his mouth. And so for him to have that, and the fact that people were running off with this stuff and he pulls up to no jumper and something happens with the car, it's like a lot of things are going on, man. So it could be for a reason. It could just be random. It's a lot of different explanations on why things like that could have happened. But everybody knows in the back of their mind that you just have to basically move in a certain type of way where you're dotting your I's and crossing your T's, and you on your P's and Q's, because at the end of the day, you have to make sure you make it out of that situation, right? Because everything is on you. If you risk whatever and this and that, like, it all comes down. Nobody's going to be here to bail you out. Like, there's a lot of situations where people are maybe they got the right support system to where they could get bailed out of a situation. They could get out of the jam. But a lot of people, you got to make sure that even if you got that, you got to be able to know, like, okay, if it's just you, like, you got to be able to get out of situations and stuff like that. So if you ended up losing 70K just like Boosie did, what would you do? Like, there's a lot of ways that you would have to get back on. That could have been your last 70. And so, but luckily for Boosie, he has a lot more money than that, and so he already got his big mansion and all the cars, the Bentleys and stuff. And the Bentleys, it's $1,000 oil change, somewhere between $500 and $1,200. If you go to the Bentley dealership, it could be a lot. So that's why he has to basically be more, careful with everything, because if he's loose about that and this guy runs off with 70K, the next guy thinks he could do it, and so on and so forth. The next thing you know, you got people all over the place basically, taken from you, and it's basically coming right into your pocket, transferring right into like, you don't want to be in a situation like that, due to the fact that that would be just being taken advantage of, and nobody wants that. Boosie doesn't want that. You shouldn't want that. And so it's a lot of people out here that need to know that you have to basically read through everything, make sure that if you get into even if you get a job, even if you do anything like that, even if you sign up for something, right? You got to make sure you read what you're getting into, and make sure if it says somewhere in there that oh, if you make this, we get to keep this and this and that. You got to be able to know and recognize that. A lot of people, they just speed right through it because they might be thinking about maybe just a certain amount of bread they're getting right now or in the moment, right? Or maybe they trust the person too much. But even if it's like somebody you really, really know, you got to make sure to read. You got to be like, okay, let me see what you got here. Make sure everything is straight, because it's at the end of the day, you have to look out for yourself. A lot of everybody gonna look out for their own self first, because most people, that's just how they are. So you have to be the same in that situation, because at the end of the day, it's like a two-sided transaction or whatever. So when you do that, the person over there, they on their own interests, and you got to be on yours too. So you got to come to the table making sure you understand, and you got to know what you need at the situation, so that way if y'all signing, if there's anything where you got to put ink to paper, anything like that, where you got to be like, nah, it has to be this way, or you have to be like, okay, I agree with everything here. Just like how a lot of people, they don't be reading the terms and conditions when they get all these things, and they just click the agree, but then in the back of that, pages that you never looked at, it could be saying all sorts of things is happening in the background that you don't even know about. Then later you go complain about it, and they tell you, nah, you said that you signed, you checked to say you agree, right? So that's the same exact situation that happens in this. Maybe if Boosie goes back and tries to get a 70K, he could have already maybe had an agreement where that was what was supposed to be actually happening. And so it could be a way where he could get out of it, or it might not be able to work. And so for that, it's really up in the air, and maybe he got it back, but they're not going to speak up. They're not going to come back and say that, oh, everything is squashed now. They probably had to handle that privately somewhere. And so, everything on that situation is basically alleged, because it was something that had like came up, and a lot of people have forgot that this happened. And so that just goes to show you the type of things that Boosie be getting into. He has to be more careful and stuff. And that's why nowadays he don't even want to go at Charleston White like that, because he understands that it could be the same thing over and over again. It's always something that's popping up. There's always something that's happening to Boosie, whether it's with Tootie Rod, whether it's somebody else. But he's always going connected to a lot of different things that it could be just BS that pops up. And so for that reason, that's another way for him to know that he has to be more aware of certain situations and the way he's moving around and this thing like this, like that, because first of all, he got to raise Tootie, make sure he don't make the same mistakes he does. And so, a lot of people out there, they'll understand exactly what that is all about. And so it's more than just him living that rapper lifestyle. It's a lot of things about being smart, making sure your business is straight and everything like that. Y'all got to understand that it's not all the glitz and the glamour out there. You got to be able to know what you're getting yourself into, and y'all got to be able to know to read through between the lines and actually read fine prints to figure out if you get in finessed in certain situations or not. And so that's the exact same things that, Boosie would say, and to make sure that somebody doesn't fall and make the same mistakes and trip ups as he did. And at the end of the day, basically, y'all just need to subscribe to the channel, like this video, go ahead and comment down below. Let me know if you're a fan of Boosie or what y'all think of the whole situation, and I'm going to catch you on the next video.